I will soar, I will fly, I will be everything I can be on this day and the next. I will soar, I will fly, I will be everything I can be on this day and the next. I will soar, I will fly, I will be everything I can be on this day and the next. I will soar, I will fly, I will be everything I can be on this day and the next. I will soar, I will fly, I will be everything I can be on this day and the next. Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform to become your spiritual server. This is your Soar tarot reading for today, March 27th of 2018. Thank you all for joining me, and let's see how you will soar today. Alright guys, let's get into this reading. Looks like our target card has actually already come out. Let's see. The target today is conditioning. This is interesting because this is the devil card in traditional tarot. So the target today is to realize our conditioning and to see ways of how we can break out of our conditioning. You know, the sun is still in Aries. So what we're doing right now is that we're coming more into ourselves. We're coming more into learning how to establish new behaviors, new actions, so as to lead to the manifestation of that life that we really want, that blissful life, that harmonious life. But we all have conditionings that we have to overcome. So today those conditionings are going to come up, and we have to be aware of them, acknowledge them, and see how we can break the chains to these conditionings. Okay, and that is the target card, is to become aware of these conditionings and how these limiting beliefs and these limiting ideas that we hold within us hold us back from establishing and creating that beautiful, harmonious, blissful life that we really want. So let's see what else we have. All right. Okay, this is kind of interesting actually, not bad at all. Alright, so the sensation that we have is intensity. Alright, the obstacle we have is friendliness, with the Two of Cups in reverse. The action that we have is the Fool card. And the resolution that we have is the Nine of Pentacles, or friendliness. Ripeness. Ripeness. Alright. So what's going on here? Well, the sensation that we're all feeling is that we have this real deep desire to move things forward. This makes sense. We have a lot of energies in Mars right now. We have a lot of energies in Aries right now. We have a lot of energies in Capricorn right now. So we really are wanting, on a deep level, to push things forward, to get things done, to get projects done, to just do new things, to act. So we really do feel this intensity to really push forward. Let's see what the surrounding cards also say though. The obstacle is actually the Two of Cups, or friendliness. So the obstacle today will be perhaps this sense that you can't necessarily emotionally connect with other people, that you may be emotionally off with people. The Two of Cups here in reverse is signaling that you want to establish some friendliness with other people, but there may be some sync up that is not quite happening. Or perhaps you might be emotionally depending upon someone else too much. The thing about this card, when it is upright, is that you have these two beautiful trees that are communing with one another. They have the yellow and the pink, and it's combining to create this beautiful, creative, orangey glow. But both trees are still rooted. They have their own connection to Mother Earth, Gaia. So really, in order for you to overcome this obstacle today, you have to realize that you have your own connection, and you have to establish this beautiful emotional connection. That way you can really establish the friendliness, and it's not so much that you guys are depending on each other. It's okay to need one another, but you don't have to depend on each other to get your emotional sustenance. The action is going to be that of the Fool. Now, you might make a foolish decision today or take a foolish action, but really what this is signaling to is the Fool just dives in anyways. The Fool has the greatest adventures. The Fool sees the most amazing things. The Fool has the most interesting friendships, the most interesting stories. The Fool card is the Jester card. So back in those days where it was mostly kings and queens, and the Fool was the entertainer, the reason why the Fool was able to entertain is because he was well traveled. He or she had been to so many different places, and they therefore could have a lot of stories to tell. So the action today is to do something that really resonates with your heart, to do something today that really sparks that creativity. And yeah, it may appear foolish on the outside, but it's okay to walk off the cliff's edge, because more than likely you're not going to fall too far, or this flower is going to hold you up, or there's a trampoline down here, or you're not going to just careen into the ground. So yeah, sometimes taking a foolish action or a foolish decision, it may lead to one's downfall. But in this case, you actually want to be the Fool. You actually want to embrace that creativity, embrace the authenticity of your heart. Really what I see this is as embrace your authenticity. Because in this world, they kind of teach us in the society that we aren't allowed to be foolish, that we have to be really pragmatic and logical and go along with the flow, what everyone else is doing. But what you want to do today is be creative, be authentic, and use that intensity to move things forward. Be the Fool today, all right? The resolution is that of the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, which this isn't necessarily a bad card in reverse, but what it can signal to is that maybe you're trying to pick fruit too soon. Maybe you're trying to rush things forward. It's interesting because we do have the intensity card here. So there is definitely this desire to want to push things forward, but what we have to remind ourselves is that, you know, we have to have the patience to allow things to grow in their own time. So the resolution today is really that we want to pick the fruit of this new action or this new way of being and these new behaviors, but we need to wait a little bit longer, because it's going to ripen, and it's going to be beautiful, because then once we actually allow the situation to ripen and then we decide to pick the fruit, it's going to be far more sweeter, and we're going to get a lot more bliss and harmony from this, right? And it's interesting, like I said, how the Desire card is breaking out of our conditioning. So the conditioning, really what I see here is that it's going to be these cards that were, you know, downturned, that were reversed. So the conditioning is believing that you have to depend on other people, when really you have your own connection. And once you realize your own connection and you nurture that connection, then you really can have that emotional connection with other people. Then you really can have true empathy, because you have to have empathy for yourself. Sometimes we outsource our empathic nature to try and take care of so many other people, but we really have to take care of our own connection first. Once we take care of our own connection first, then the fruit will be ripe, and whatever action that we take, whatever, you know, authenticity, you know, that we take, this is going to become ripe, and then it'll be ready to pick. But it requires a little bit of patience. So today, make sure that you take care of yourself. Make sure that you nurture your own connection, okay? And utilize the intensity to move things forward. Utilize the intensity to embrace that foolish side of you, to embrace that inner child. The inner child, it jumps into things. It doesn't really necessarily worry about the consequences, right? It's only when we're older that we worry about the consequences and what could happen. And when we're always constantly worried about what ifs, we never really take the time to really push outside of our comfort zones. We never really take the time to really, you know, be the Fool. We just stay chained up. And we can't even express that inner roar and just roar outwards. This is talking about, it's interesting how we have the lion surrounded by all these sheep, and it clouds the lion's judgment, because a lot of times we succumb to these conditionings that we can't move things forward, or that we have to outsource our empathic nature so much and not take care of ourselves, and then we pick fruit before it's ripe. Take the time to nurture yourself. Utilize that intensity. Utilize this forward-moving energy. And then you'll be able to bring your creative projects, your creativity, and whatever it is that you want to bring into this world and manifest, you'll be able to bring it more forward and it will become ripe. So that is your Soar tarot reading for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and check out my channel for all the other videos and content that I have. And of course, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.
Please try to understand that I'm only human. I may make mistakes at times, but I'm only human. I may hurt people, but still I'm only human. I may get depressed at times, but I'm only human. I refuse to believe that I'm just only human. I'm a product of God, you know I'm more than human. I can overcome anything cause I'm more than human. My objective is changing lives cause I'm more than human. I'm more than human.